Dear and welcome to Sibyl Tarot. I'm just going to do a reading here. It's for no sign in particular. You know, if you feel drawn to the reading, maybe this reading is for you, or it could be for somebody around you, or that. I'm just going to pull 10 cards here. It's a Celtic cross spread, and just to see what lies ahead here. So as I say, if this reading does not resonate, you know, feel free to check out my other readings, or that. I haven't done a reading in a while. I've done a few personal readings or that, but I haven't done any readings on this channel for a bit. So yeah, I'm just going to cut the deck here now. So at the heart of the spread, lovely, we have here is the Six of Cups, water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. What's crossing the Six of Cups is the Eight of Wands, fire energy. And fire energy is Leo, Aries and Sagittarius. Lovely. What's crowning the spread we have here is the King of Wands, more fire energy. At the base of the spread, what lies beneath we have is the Nine of Wands, more fire energy. In the recent past we have is the King of Pentacles, earth energy, and earth energy is Capricorn, Taurus and Virgo. Coming towards you in the future we have is the Seven of Wands, more fire energy. A lot of passion, creativity in this reading. Wow, nothing but wands, nothing but fiery passion. We have the Princess of Wands, more fire energy. We also have is the Four of Swords, which is air energy. Air is Aquarius, Libra and Gemini. We have is the Nine of Cups, and this is in the hopes and fears position, and this is water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And then we have is the Prince of Wands, more fire energy. This is lovely. A very passionate reading. The overall energy we have here is the Lovers. And the Lovers is, it's actually, yeah, it's the only major arcana in this spread here. And the Lovers is Gemini energy. And it also talks about Gemini is Mercury, so it could be also talking about Virgo energy as well. But so at the heart here we have is the Six of Cups, crossing it is the Eight of Wands. So this not might be for all, but this so somebody is coming back from your past. You know, this may be, you know, a past lover, you know, or somebody that you used to fancy, but there is, you know, with the Eight of Wands here, it's talking about a fast communication coming in. You know, it'll be, you know, over the phone, you know, or the internet of some sort, you know, that way. And I feel that, you know, you or this person, you know, has been through a lot with the Nine of Wands. Because the Nine of Wands here, you know, he's the wounded warrior, and he's been through the battles. Do you know what I mean? He's probably, you know, he's, you know, put up his guard, a lot of defences, you know, he's put up a wall around him, you know what I mean? But the Nine of Wands talks about, you know, one last push, you know what I mean? And he has, you know, that energy, you know, because he's the nines, you know, talk about coming to, you know, an end of a cycle, you know, that way. So maybe, you know, because this is in, you know, the distant past, he's been through so much, you know, and this could talk about, you know, the last, you know, 2.5 years, so to speak, because of this Jupiter Saturn conjunction, that happened on the 21st of December here. And it talks about, a change, in timeline for everybody, and depending on where this, Jupiter and Saturn were in Capricorn. And depending where Capricorn is in your chart, you have gone through, the last 2.5 years, specific, house, and it's coming to an ending. But with this, Nine of Wands, this wounded soldier, he has been through, the war, so to speak, and Saturn talks about, hard lessons being learned, and you be feeling this, you know what I mean, and maybe that, you're kind of just going to give it one last push now to see for something, to come to fruition or whatever, to bring on the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands, because we have here is the 8 and the 9 of Wands, so you may be looking for the 10 of Wands, you know what I mean, to a completion of a burdensome cycle is what the 10 of Wands talks about. But in the recent past here, we have here is the King of Pentacles, and this, could be you or this other person, with the King of Pentacles, they're very money orientated, or that they work hard for their money, money is always on their mind, so to speak, they like to secure their future financially. And, this could be, an energy that you've been taking on, in the recent past with yourself. Or this could be, this person coming back from your past. This is the type of person that they are, So what's crowning the spread here we have is the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is very fiery, very passionate. He goes after for what he wants, and he will get it. Do you know what I mean? By hook or by crook, so to speak, And I feel that, if this is the person that's coming back from your past, they're thinking about communicating with you because, he has his hand in, there he's in deep contemplation, and he's looking towards the future. He's wondering, if he brings this wand of passion, so to speak, towards, the Six of Cups, that will things work out? Do you know what I mean? Coming towards you though, is the Seven of Wands. So this could be this person that's coming back from your past. They may be a little bit defensive or may feel that they have to defend themselves, because of the Seven of Wands, and they may feel that they have to put, things, things to, not things, not even problems, but to justify themselves, with the Seven of Wands, and maybe struggling, to come towards you, that way, because the Seven of Wands can also talk about a bit of, could be also, that there's a power struggle going on between, these two energies of that, but it's like you're struggling to get on top of things, but you will, that way, but maybe they're struggling to come towards you to communicate, so to speak, But here we have is the Princess of Wands, and this is your energy, you know what I mean? And the Princess of Wands is open to communication, you know what I mean? Very much so, like, they would be the type of person as well that, for communication, they like, fast communication, you know what I mean? They don't like be hanging around waiting for, if they ask you a question, if this is you, they ask you a question, they just want, the information there and then, you know what I mean? Fast and quick, and like maybe so, texting, you might find this type of person, that they'll text back quick enough, they'll reply to you or that, like, but the Princess of Wands is always, she's quite adventurous, person as well, and I'm not saying that this is, female or male or whatever, just to take, but take the energy, so to speak. But like that, she is quite passionate. She is, you know, somewhat, you know, like the King of Wands, you know, very passionate nature, and she'll go after as well what she wants, you know, so to speak. But the energy around you here is the Four of Swords. So if this could be this person or somebody around you. It could be the person that's coming towards you or somebody around you, but their energy that they have at the moment, you know, is the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords talks about healing, you know, healing after a heartbreak, because the Three of Swords is here, you know, and they're kind of, you know, lying in meditation. Even some people maybe, you know, in prayer, you know, but in quiet, you know, discontentment or that, you know, because they're healing from a past hurt, so to speak, you know. The Three of Swords talks about heartache and heartbreak around, you know, somebody, do you know, that way, and for whatever reason this may be, but this person, you know, is healing, or the energy that's around you is, you know, a healing energy. But we have here in the hopes and fears positions, more so to do with the hopes, is the Nine of Cups, so the wish fulfillment. So this person is seeking their wish fulfillment here, do you know, they're looking towards the wish fulfillment, and this could be you that they're looking towards, do you know what I mean, that, you know, they want, you know, to be happy, you know what I mean, and to be, you know, filled with happy emotion, you know, because the Cups talks about emotion, you know, and once again it's another 9. So even though this person, you know, may feel, you know, that they've been through so much, do you know, that way, and with the 9 of Wands, you know, they're also looking, you know, to be fulfilled emotionally, you know what I mean, to feel, you know, happiness or comfort, you know, especially after the four of Swords. So that's in the hopes, you know. And then we have here is the Prince of Wands. And the Prince of Wands, you know, this is the great adventurer, you know. I love this energy, the Prince of Wands, but this is your outcome, do you know what I mean? So, and for me it talks about, you know, in some ways it talks about, you know, taking that leap of faith, you know, not so much being the fool, you know, because the Prince of Wands, you know, he has you know, he has worked things out in his mind, you know, he knows, you know, of what's what, you know what I mean. And the only thing now with the Prince of Wands, if he doesn't feel the same type of connection or energy, that he will move out quick, you know, that way he'll come in fast but he'll move out quick if the energy's not, you know, if it's not feeling right. But if this is this person kind of has matured somewhat, you know, because he's the King of Wands, do you know, that way. So especially to do with work or money, because we have here is the King of Pentacles. It can talk about two people, you know, two people coming back from your past. But if it's just the one person, this person's very much so work orientated and money orientated, you know, in that way. More so I feel that, you know, they're kind of, you know, a king, you know, when it comes to their work and money, you know what I mean, that they have this sussed. But it can talk though about, you know, two people, because the overall energy here is the Lovers card, and the Lovers card, if it's two people, it talks about a choice, you know, a choice that you have to make, you know, that way, a choice between lovers, you know, or to do with a love situation or that. But the Lovers card for me is what you call it, you know, a divine love, you know what I mean, a very special love, a love that, you know, that is protected, you know, that's divinely protected with the Angel card here, you know. It's a pure love as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle some more cards, and I'm going to use this deck, this little small deck here, and go deeper into the reading, just to see what each of these cards kind of represents. So the only major arcana card is the overall energy, is the Lovers, you know. So I feel that this reading normally, Celtic, you know, cross readings, they play out, you know, for the next 18 months, and you're going, well, that's an awful long time, but it's not really. But I do feel that because these are all minor arcana cards, this, you know, if this reading is resonating to you, it's going to be happening very soon. Do you know what I mean? And because of the wands talk about days or weeks, so this could be happening, you know. There's you know, sooner rather than later, so to speak, you know. And if you were looking for, you know, as to what type of energy, you know, well, we have wands, we have cups, we have swords, and we do have water, don't we? Yeah, we have the Six of Cups, we have water energy, you know. So we have all the signs of the zodiac here, but mainly here with this, the Lovers card, the Lover talks about Gemini and Virgo energy, because this is represented by Mercury, and Mercury is moving in this week into Aquarius. So this could be, is it Aquarius it's moving into? Yeah. Or is it Capricorn? I'm not too sure now, but so it can be playing out, I know, for the next number. I think it's actually, yeah, it's moving into Aquarius, because I think it turns retrograde on at the beginning of February there. So we'll just say what this Six of Cups is. So this six, it's a beautiful card here. This Six of Cups here, you know, the Six of Cups talks about, you know, soulmates. You can talk about past lives or that, you know, so you may feel with this person or that, you know, that's coming back from your past, that you have lived past lives with them, or, you know, that there's a soul connection of some sort. It also, for me, this is why I love this particular bit, this particular Six of Cups in this deck is, you know, the divine looking over that once again, with, like, as with the Lovers card here, that this relationship, you know, partnership or whatever is protected, do you know, that way, divinely protected. And this Six of Cups also can talk about, if it's talking about past lives, it can talk about, you know, past lives, but it can talk about your life, you know, as in the past, do you know what I mean? And it can go back to your childhood, do you know? And if you go back to your childhood, do you know, especially with Saturn, and I know for me that, you know, it's what you call it, you know, it really resonates, but what you call it, with the Six of Cups, if you go back, you know, to your childhood as to when Saturn and Jupiter had their last conjunction, you know, or more so that Saturn was in Aquarius was over 30 years ago. And if you are, you know, over the age of 30, you know, if you go back to 30 years ago, something will occur, you know, because it's the Saturn return of Aquarius. Something that had occurred 30 years ago will be similar as to what, you know, is occurring now in your life, so to speak. So this is, you know, Six of Cups can be talking about that you're going back, you know, to when you were a child, and maybe something that's reoccurring, you know, in your life at this moment happened, you know, it's actually 29 and a half years ago to be precise, but say 30 years ago, do you know, that way. But here what is clarifying this Six of Cups here, we have here is the Four of Cups and the Empress, which is lovely energy. The Empress is Venus energy, Venusian energy, you know, and Venus as well is moving this week, I think, into Capricorn, or that, you know, which is lovely because Saturn and Jupiter have moved out of Capricorn, you know, and we're still in the Capricorn time. Sun is in Capricorn, Venus is moving, you know, towards the Sun or that. But the Four of Cups here, Four of Cups talks about, you know, being disappointed, you know, in the love area. But with this particular card, I feel more so because of the picture. Normally this chap that's sitting under the tree is looking at the, you know, the three cups, you know, his past, present and future, you know, but he's actually and he ignores, you know, the cup that you know God is giving to him, you know, that way. But in this particular card, he is, you know, facing, you know, this cup. He's looking at this cup, this divine cup that's being given to him. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that he's this person, you know, I keep saying him because it's, you know, a bloke on it, but this is like for yourself, you know, that you're now looking at, you know, the cup, you know, the cup of emotion, the cup of love or whatever that is being given to you. You know, you're not ignoring it now where you were before. And with this Empress here, the Empress talks about, you know, excuse me, the Empress the Empress talks about abundance, you know, coming into your life. And maybe that if you were to look at what's being given to you, what's being offered, you know, from the universe, from the divine, that you can, you know, you can, you know, flourish, so to speak, you know, and you can come into your power as well, you know, with the Empress, because the Empress doesn't, you know, she doesn't go seeking, looking for, you know, looking for recognition or looking for love. That she'll know that because of her worth, she knows her own worth, it will come to her, so to speak. Do you know that way? So it's probably saying as well for someone, you know, to know their own worth. Do you know that way? But with the Eight of Wands here, we're just going to clarify the Eight of Wands. So like I say, the Eight of Wands talks about fast communication. I also feel that this communication will be within the next 8 days to 8 weeks. Wands, you know, for me, it's the fastest time. So we have here, oh, this is beautiful. What we have here with the Eight of Wands is the Lovers card, and you can see, can you see that Lovers card there? They're quite small, but this is beautiful. And to me, this represents as well, you know, the Lovers card is here, the overall energy, but there could be, you know, fiery communication with the Wands, you know what I mean? Fast communication as well, but it's, you know, it's to do, definitely to do, you know, with a past lover. And this person would, you know, would it be, you know, it's, you know, your divine feminine, you know, or divine masculine, you know, because we have here is the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And this to me represents, you know, the Empress. You see the Empress here. So, you know, your divine masculine is coming towards you, so to speak, or you could be taking on that energy. You know, you could be even calling in your soulmate, so to speak, calling in, you know, for communication, because and they say, you know, that communication is done over, you know, with 5D, so to speak. But that's what that is, you know, kind of clarifying. And look what we have underneath here. Once again, we have the Eight of Wands. So there's definitely communication coming in, you know, very soon. So I'm just going to see what the Nine of Wands. So as I say, the Nine of Wands, you know, this person has been through the wars, been through the battles, you know, with the Nine of Wands here. As I say, they probably have excuse me, built their walls up, so to speak. You know, kind of, you know, a fence to protect ourselves. Look at this. And what's clarifying it is the Queen of Wands. And this could be, you know, yourself or this person, you know, and the Queen of Wands, like, she will stand in her power, do you know, so to speak, you know, and she's very, as well, she's very, you know, work orientated or whatever, like, as if, you know, she would, she's great work ethic, you know, she will carry herself, you know, through, you know, and achieve what her goals, achieve what she wants to do, so to speak. It's like though as well that this Queen of Wands, you know, she could be like, you know, a beacon of hope for this person, you know, or the other way around, this person could be a beacon of hope for you, you know, depending, you know, what way you want to switch the role. But it's like that she holds the wand, you know, of passion in her hand, but she's, you know, kind of let down her guard, you know, so maybe the other person or yourself, you know, has somewhat let down their guard, you know, and it's kind of, once again, I want to say, because of the Eight of Wands coming up, it's kind of, you know, calling, you know, or calling in for that communication, or themselves maybe, you know, calling, you know, in the communication as such, you know. But we'll just see what this King of Pentacles, to clarify the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is very grounded, very stable, just like, you know, the Empress, you know, likes, you know, the finer things in life, you know, that way, has very good taste, so to speak, you know, would spend, you know, you know, money, you know, on the best of things, but, you know, would also be very astute with their money also, do you know, that way, would watch every penny, do you know, that way. They kind of invest. If they were buying stuff, they'd be investing in, because they'd be looking towards the future, do you know, that way. So they'd be, you know, they may pay a pretty penny for a certain thing, but it's because they look at it as a, you know, as an investment, so to speak, do you know. And we have here, what's clarifying the King of Wands is the five, or the King of Pentacles is the Five of Wands. Now, this person may have had some struggles, you know, to do with to do in the work, you know, area, but it'd be quite minor struggles. I feel more so that they're struggling to communicate, you know, or, you know, or if this is you, you're struggling to communicate, you know, to make the in the past, you know, to probably make the initial communication, so to speak, because this is what the Five of Wands talks about, you know. But it's a fleeting energy. Once again, it's not it's a minor arcana card, you know, and it's not too, how would you say, you know, worrying, you know, it's just like minor struggles, you know. You could have been as well in the past had petty arguments with this person or that, you know, and that's it, you know, that it's not big, you know, fight or bust up, so to speak, but just, you know, petty, you know. They could see you as being quite petty or that, you know, as well. So we'll just see what this King of Wands, but I know this King of Wands here is in, you know, quite deep thought. Yeah, look, wow. Alright. So, the King of Wands is getting clarified by the Judgment card and the Devil and the Ten of Pentacles. So, with the Devil card here, the Devil card talks about Capricorn energy, and this is the Capricorn time that we're in. You know, a lot of people say, you know, with the Devil, oh, he's the Devil or that, but the Devil can talk about, you know, being very passionate, you know, exciting, you know, erotic as well, you know, the relationship could be very erotic or that. But with the Judgment cards, this King of Wands is definitely thinking, you know, of revisiting the past, bringing up the lovers from the dead, so to speak, you know, because he's looking for the King of Pentacles. or for the Ten of Pentacles, and you know, the Ten of Pentacles is the be all and end all, you know, in a relationship. It's the best. It's not that, you know, that it's, you know, but that you can have it all, so to speak, you know. You can have it all in, you know, with, you know, in a relationship with, you know, love, you know, finance, career, work, you know, that way. And this is what this King of Wands could be thinking of, you know, that way. But as well with the Devil card, it just talks about that very fiery, very passionate, you know, and definitely, you know, if there was you know, that they see, you know, what they see in this, you know, this person, or this is what you could see in this person, do you know what I mean, that, you know, that they're worth investing, do you know what I mean, with the Ten of Pentacles, they're worth putting the investment into, do you know. And with the Devil card, you know, there's extreme attraction here, you know what I mean, sexual chemistry here as well, you know. And the Judgment card is talking about, you know, this is kind of like the final, you know, final judgment day, so to speak, you know. But the Judgment talks about, you know, a second coming. So it's a second chance, a second coming, you know, a second chance coming around as well, do you know, that way. So set look, and what we have here at the bottom of the deck is the Two of Cups, you know. And the Two of Cups talks about, you know, two, you know, beautiful energies coming together, you know, that way. This is a lovely reading. Should have done readings before. So the Princess of Wands is your energy, how you're feeling, you know. And it may be that you are starting out on something, you know, new and adventurous, you know, in your life, you know, or willing to take, you know, the first steps, you know, or learning about something that's, you know, very creative, or that, you know. The Princess of Wands plus with the Prince of Wands here, the two here is a match, but they both talk about moving, you know, physical movement, do you know, that way. So it could be to do moving to do with work, you know, or to do with, you know, your life, you know. You could be, you know, there could be a movement here. Actually, we shouldn't be talking about the Princess of Wands because we have the Seven of Wands here coming into the immediate future. So the Seven of Wands is kind of, you know, it's still a minor arcana card of that, but it does talk about struggles, you know, and trying to get on top of things, you know. And it could be like, you know, that there has been struggles in this relationship or whatever, you know, and that you need to kind of get on top of it now, you know, maybe, you know, sort out the difficulties or whatever, like, you know, that way. Or it could be as well that you're defending yourself, you know what I mean, or, you know, because you're trying to, you know, no, I don't mean trying to, but you're standing in your power, you know your worth or whatever, and you want to defend, you know, your name or your, you know, your stance on things or whatever like that, do you know. That's what the Seven of Wands talks about. And being clarified with the Seven of Wands here is the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands again, and the Hermit cards. So also I feel that this other person, if this is, you know, if this person has put up their walls of defences as well, you also have, you know, or the other way around, the two of you have, you know, going into the future. But this Nine of Wands is slightly different to the other, because one of you, you know, knows that, you know, you have to kind of succumb to it. But I feel that this person who's maybe have built up, you know, a defense or something, you know, with the Nine of Wands, they've also taken themselves out of, you know, they've, you know, gone into isolation. And I know at these times that a lot of people are feeling isolated or that, but they have gone within, because with the Hermit card it talks about healing, you know what I mean. There's some type of healing that has gone on, and the, you know, this person or you has gone inside to find, you know, the inner strength, do you know what I mean, the inner wisdom to carry on, you know, and to look also, you know, with the Hermit, to look for that light, you know. And that's what we talked about with this Queen of Wands. She is holding, you know, that beacon of light, so to speak, you know, or she has ignited it, you know, with her wand of passion. And this is, you know, the Hermit, it's kind of like as well that if this person's gone through so much, do you know what I mean, and has nearly brought them down onto their knees, do you know, that they're looking for, you know, how would you say, you know, comfort and you know, and even for some it might be even some type of counselling, or not even like counselling, just someone there to, you know, to listen, do you know, that way, because the Hermit can talk about, you know, a counselling type of energy, you know, that way there's somebody that would just sit there, you know, and listen to them, you know, because that could be, you know, very healing as well. But I do feel that someone, you know, that has been through so much or whatever, you know, is, you know, on their own journey kind of self-discovery, or inner, you know, inner truth, inner, you know, they kind of just want inner peace as well, you know, and they have, you know, this is probably, you know, the beginning, you know, so to speak, of their journey, you know, as well. I do feel that if it's to do with, because we have, you know, the devil here, and the devil here can talk about, you know, addictions, and because with the Hermit card going forward here, this can also talk about, you know, they call it the 12 steps, and that, you know, if you've gone into some type of, how would you say, recovery, you know, to do with addiction or that, you know, I know one of the steps is that, you know, you to go back to your past, you know, and just, you know, to go back and, you know, to apologize, you know, for your for the way, you know, that you've behaved, you know, to people that you've hurt, so to speak. And this could be, you know, this could be talking about this as well. Two of Pentacles. Yeah. So now, as I say, with the Princess of Wands, this is you. This is how you view it. You know what I mean? View the situation or that. Yeah, I feel like for some that there was some type of, because if you see with this Princess of Wands, you know, she's walking away from something that was very cloudy. Do you know what I mean? That wasn't, you know, that was very kind of like how would I say, not mystifying, but, you know, you couldn't see clearly, you know what I mean? Maybe your judgment was clouded or that, you know, about this person or that. Or maybe because that, you know, you were in a, how would you say, like, you know, you couldn't see the wood from the trees, you know, while you were in this connection, you know, that, you know, you moved away, you know, that way to find probably just to find your own, you know, mental clarity or that, you know. But what's clarifying this Princess of Wands is the Four of Wands, lovely, the Chariot and the Ten of Cups. Yeah, this is lovely. So this is like for your position. So with the Four of Wands, the Four of Wands talks about, you know, creating, you know, a relationship that's, you know, grounded, balanced and stable, and, you know, that these two people have, you know, a lot of passion, you know, towards, you know, to create, you know, a future, because it is the 1111 card, to open up new doors, so to speak. Do you know, with the Chariot card, it talks about moving forward, do you know what I mean? Taking control, you know, of the situation of your life or whatever, but, you know, moving forward, you know, the yin and the yang as well. So it's talking about divine feminine, divine masculine energy, you know. And this deck is different as well, because for the, and this could be, you know, with the Princess of Wands, feminine energy as in yin energy, you know what I mean, as in moon energy, you were probably the person to, you know, that was given, you know, that way. And with this Cancerian, you know, energy, again, it's the moon, but in other decks, in the traditional decks, it's the emperor that's driving the chariot, but in this particular deck, it's the empress. Do you know what I mean? So your own yin energy inside you, you know, is taking control, you know, so there's, you know, a balance of yin and yang inside you, so to speak. As well, it could be, you know, that the, you know, the female or the feminine energy of the relationship is now going to take control, do you know, that way. But what's happening here is lovely. We have here is the Ten of Cups, do you know, and the Ten of Cups talks about, you know, happiness, fulfillment within a relationship, you know, happy families all around, so to speak. You know, having your, you know, with the Nine of Cups talks about wish fulfillment, and the Ten of Cups talks about it being granted to you, so to speak. So this Four of Swords is the energy that's kind of, you know, that surrounds you, or it could be talking about the person that's coming towards you with the Four of Swords. And as I said, with the Four of Swords, again, it's talking about, you know, healing. Somebody is healing after heartache or heartbreak around them, you know, and it's being clarified with the Page of Cups. Yeah, so the Page of Cups, you know, is a gentle, loving energy, you know, very sensitive. This person could be very sensitive at this time, or like that. It could be, if it's your energy that's surrounding yourself, you could be very sensitive at this time. But also the Page of Cups talks about, you know, an apology, you know, someone bringing an apology to you, or you apologizing, you know, to that person. But if this is, you know, if somebody does come back from your past, to be very, very sensitive, you know, towards them, because I just feel that they are very, very fragile at this time. They may not show it, you know, their fragility or whatever, but they are very fragile. So the Nine of Cups is your hopes and fears, you know, and, you know, the Nine of Cups is lovely, you know. All I keep thinking it, you know, is that it's wish fulfillment, or that, you know, you can talk about as well that if it's, you know, if it's the other person, or that, you know, if it's, you know, that you, because it's in the hopes and fears position, that if you're fearful that, you know, this person, or it could be you, you know, that you over, you know, excessive in drinking, you know, it could be just at this time, or it could be as well that, you know, if somebody is going through, you know, something that, you know, has affected them very emotional, they could be drinking quite heavy at this time, you know. But what's being clarified here is the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man is a major arcana card, and it's Pisces energy. And the Hanged Man is talking about, you know, sitting on the fence, so to speak, you know. So being, you know, somewhat, could be, you know, in anticipation, so to speak, or, you know, waiting around, you know. Now you're not troubled, you know, with this waiting, or this person's not, you know, troubled in, you know, with this waiting game or whatever. Or it could be talking about you or this person, or both having another perspective, do you know what I mean? Taking a different perspective on, you know, on the relationship, on the situation, or, you know, what's gone on, or that. So, and it's also, you know, Jupiter energy, and as I said, Jupiter has moved into Aquarius, and that's, you know, very significant as well, like, you know, with that major conjunction that happens, because the Jupiter is like the planet of expansion, do you know, that way. It can also talk about, because Pisces is also ruled by Neptune, and as I said before here, with this Queen of Wands, it's like that. So, and Neptune has been, you know, in Pisces, it was retrograding for a good while there, and Neptune in Pisces, when it's retrograding like that, it talks about things being distorted, you know. You're not seeing the woods from the trees, so to speak, you know what I mean. You know, Neptune does have this dreamy energy, you know what I mean. It can get carried away or whatever, like, But, you know, and if it's, you know, Pisces is the 12th house, you know what I mean? The 12th house talks about, you know, endings of some sort or that, you know. But it can also talk about, you know, the 12th house is all about, you know, spirituality or that, you know, and it's also, you know, having that hanged man, you know what I mean, looking at things in a different perspective, but having, you know, a different way of, you know, thinking about things, or, you know, even there might not be that there is communication, as I say again, in the 3D, but there's always, you know, in the 5D or something, you know, and that's what that Pisces cards can represent. That's what the hanged man, you know, can represent. Even though there may be, you know, a stillness, do you know what I mean? There's still some type of communication going on here. Yeah, so we'll just see what's clarifying the Prince of Wands. So I love the Prince of Wands, you know, it is the great adventurer, fun, loving, you know, charismatic, a person, but the King of Wands can also hold that Pisces energy, you know what I mean? That hanged man, oh, should I, you know, and this, with this King of Wands, you know, he isn't taught as well, you know, should I, you know, go for or whatever, like, you know, that way, thinking, you know, is it the best? Because the King of Wands, as I said, you know, although, you know, he goes and gets what he wants, he makes sure he's very analytical in, you know, in ways that he makes sure that it is the right thing, you know, to go. So there could be, you know, with the Prince of Wands, you know, as well, they've kind of, how would you say, you know, they've kind of nearly, you know, not made a list or that, you know what I mean, but to him, you know, the pros and cons to it or whatever, but with the Prince of Wands, it's saying it's taking the action, do you know, that way it is going to move forward, do you know. Yeah, and all of a sudden here with the Tower, you see the Tower, all of a sudden it's going to become as a big surprise or a big shock to somebody, do you know what I mean? Or maybe again, you know, this Prince of Wands, you know, has gone through a major, you know, occurrence, or, you know, you know, something major happened, you know, in their life, you know what I mean, and the tower is brought down, you know, but the tower is brought down, you know, for it to start again, you know. You know, something could come crashing down around, you know what I mean, and then this could be anything, you know what I mean, but it was quite a sudden event, do you know what I mean, so to speak. You know, it could happen because Wands talks about, you know, work. It could happen in, you know, in the work area, do you know, that way. It could be though, you know, that it's something emotional, you know, or it could be something, you know, how would you say, mental as well, with the swords, do you know. It could be anything, you know, to do with it. I think that's, but whatever, I feel that, you know, something now coming, you know, in the future is going to, you know, become a bit of a shock to you, do you know, that way, a bit of, you know, whether it be, it'll come out of the blue, so to speak, you know, communication or that, you know, some type of communication or whatever, like, you know. I'll just pull a few cards here just to see. I'm just going to have a look here. Yeah, there's one message here, if it's strong, you know, a very strong message here from Spirit, and that's to say that, you know, this is to do with a relationship. The relationship, you know, it could be a friendship, it could be, you know, to do with family or that, but I do feel more so it's to do with lovers, you know, past lives connections or that. The word that is coming through very strong is tenderness. Do you know what I mean? There has to be a lot of, you know, tenderness with this, you know, communication or coming together, so to speak. And that's, you know, and to know that, you know, Archangel, you know, Gabrielle is protecting your love, you know. Yeah, look, this is lovely. So we have 2 sixes, and sixes talk about balance, do you know what I mean? And 6 talk about love, do you know what I mean? So with the 6 of Wands here, you know, there's someone that's, you know, coming back, you know, and maybe that, you know, that they or you or you both admire each other, you know what I mean? You have each other, you know, up on a pedestal, so to speak, you know, that way. And but for whatever, there's triumph, you know what I mean? Or whatever is going to, you know, go on, there's some type of triumph, you know. But as well as that, you know, with the 6 of Pentacles here, there's equal reciprocity, you know what I mean? There's equal give and take, and there should be, you know, equal communication, as in, you know, don't be doing all the talking, listen, you know, or the other way around, do you know, that way. But whatever the the outcome is going to be, you know, it's going to be victorious, and it's going to benefit, you know, each party, so to speak. That's lovely. So I do hope you like the reading. If you do, I don't know what to call the reading. I suppose maybe just a day that's in it. Yeah, if you do like the reading, please like, share, leave a comment. Slán.